What's up, everybody? It's been a long time since I've made a video, probably about 6 months since I made the video of me tearing out the motor that I kind of spun some bearings in and stuff like that out of this here e92. And I want to do a little update video, tell you guys what's going on, what's in the works, what's in the plans, and what we're planning on for next season. Now, it may not seem like we've had a lot going on because I haven't been posting that much, but there's been a ton going on in the background. First of all, we pulled out that old turbo LS motor that I was using out back in May. Originally we were just going to swap the block to aluminum and kind of refresh it and put it back in, but it kind of snowballed into this huge build with Patriot Performance down in Williamson, Georgia, and now we're building a full dry sump solid roller 427 that's being built to be able to withstand basically a 200 shot of nitrous. And we expect this motor to last season after season after season without breaking. We're doing this a lot because I'm really tired of the maintenance that my Turbo LS required. My original build on that Turbo LS was supposed to be a junkyard build, and then I kind of like bought nicer parts than I was originally planning on buying, and I bought name brand instead of off brand and things like that, and that turned into a very expensive build. But in the end, there's just a lot of complicated heat management issues that were going on. There was complicated parts failures that were going on. So maybe you guys saw my Instagram where I blew my intake out of my intercooler. And there's just a lot of things that can go wrong in a Turbo LS. The worst part about it though was where the power was made and where the weight was distributed. The power was made all up top. So the motor would start to rev up and it would rev up to maybe 3 or 4 grand very slowly, just like a typical LS. But then it would shoot and skyrocket to the red line, and I could just red line around the whole track and it'd be fine, but I was limiting my wheel speed by doing that. If I turned up the wheel speed, then below 4,000 RPM or out of boost, it was very difficult to drive when it was gripped up. So it was kind of like I had two cars, and the turbo was really sized too big, and it was a junkyard build in the beginning, so that's kind of why. But it was a really cool car to have and a fun car to drive on big tracks. On small tracks, it was a lot more difficult to drive, where you could fall out of boost, or your wheel speed could slow down too much, or things like that. It was really difficult to drive on small tracks. So we decided to go with a all-out NA build, and we're doing a 7-liter, a 427 sized engine. It's going to be a sleeved 6-liter aluminum block that I had sitting in the shop. Actually, maybe it was in the May video. But we got rods that are rated to 1600 horsepower. We went with high compression pistons, forged crank. We're using CID head, CID intake manifold, and we basically went all out. I really didn't skimp at all, and we expect it to make over 700 horsepower. With all that being said, we expect this motor to be done around the second week of January. Actually, I did drop the motor off and a lot of the parts off back in May, but all these parts are back ordered. 2022 has been really difficult to get parts on time. For instance, I ordered my rockers in August, and we don't expect them here until December. Some other items had 12 to 14 week lead times, and I didn't want to settle to get whatever was in stock. I decided to wait on the back ordered better parts to make sure that I was building the best engine that I could actually afford. Now that leaves a few questions up in the air. So because of that, I haven't been able to drive all season basically. Right when we took the motor out from this, I haven't driven since. I drove my buddy's car one time in Mid-Pond, but I haven't been driving, I haven't been working on the cars, and it's really difficult to make content without a working car on a car channel. So with that being said, I'm so thankful to everybody who's subscribed lately. At the time of this recording, we are at 999 subscribers. So I am 1 subscriber away from 1,000, and hopefully by the time I post this, I will have 1,000 subscribers. That's been a big milestone for me. I've been doing this YouTube channel for a couple years now, periodically, and 1,000 subs is obviously a big milestone for any new, small, young YouTube channel. That being said, I don't want to be in this situation ever again. I don't want to have a motor that is likely to blow a lot. I don't want to have a motor that's going to spin bearings and blow out turbo parts and need a lot of maintenance, so we started building the new 427 over at Patriot Performance. But that motor is going to be very expensive, and it is not going to run on regular fuel. It's going to run on race fuel, or at a very, very minimum pump E85, which is probably unlikely because of the compression ratio. And the new motor is going to make this car much more expensive to operate. It's already pretty expensive to operate. but in my opinion, it's going to turn this car into a car that I can't take driving for Friday night events at Lanier all the time. It's just too expensive to bring it out twice or 3 times a month, or for any real events that aren't either testing or competition. So I decided to buy another E92, which we've put in my backyard. I bought it very, very cheap. And since I still had my old motor, since I bought so many parts for the new motor, I have an iron block sitting over in the corner of the garage with the forged internals all ready to go. It needs bearings, it needs a rod. I actually already have a crank. So I'm going to put that one together as cheaply as possible and try to put it in the other E92 to make a seat time car that I can drive to the track, I can have fun in. I go through 2 sets of tires, maybe 3 sets of tires at most on a Friday night, and it's just cheap and fun to operate. I can do anything with it. And I'm going to use that in the cases where I don't want to use this. I've also been collecting a ton of spares for this car. So thanks to Matt Stupalski, I have 4 spare subframes now, front subframes. If you don't know, these subframes are made of aluminum, and anytime you kind of hit the front wheels, you're more likely to bend the control arm pocket than anything else. Blake Olson actually makes a reinforcement kit for the front of these subframes. So I hope to be picking up a couple of those too to reinforce these extra subframes. But basically I wanted to have a lot on hand in case I did bend these. Also, I've picked up about, I think I have 3 or 4 spare power steering racks now, and we're going to start picking up some more spares to complete a spares package for the upcoming season. The last thing we want is to spend all the money to go to these big comp events like Clutch Kickers or East 10 or Pro-Am or any other shootout and have something break right away and not be able to fix it. So we're trying to build the most reliable car we can with a new engine. We already have a dog box and quick change, so we're probably pretty good there. We have DSS axles and Wisefab all around, so I think we're probably in a very well sorted and set up car afterward for next season. But we're still going to have a lot of spares on hand just in case we do get into some of those bumps and wrecks that we should expect when trying to drive as hard as we can. In the past, I've been very scared to hurt this car, to damage this car, and in practice I would drive quite a bit differently than I would drive in competition. So one thing I want to work on for this season is to practice like I'm competing. I want to go out, I want to risk it in practice, even if it means hitting somebody and maybe even hurting the car, because I don't want to get into a kind of comfortable zone of driving when I go into competition. So that's one thing I really want to work on next year. So all that being said, I don't really have enough space to work on the other seat time E92 right now. I have a 2-car garage here. I've been doing the work in here for the whole lifetime of this YouTube channel. But that car's sitting out back, this car's sitting in here, and basically the work's going to begin again when I get this engine back from Patriot Performance. The first video will probably be me putting that engine in. So I'm very excited. You guys should be too. This engine is going to be completely unlike my old engine and basically built to the moon. So after this car has its engine in, it's running again, we'll bring the other E92 in and start making a cheap seat time car build. I have so many E92 parts and LS parts now. I think I can put that car together relatively cheaply. We still will have an angle kit on it. We'll have a V8 in it. So it's not going to be that cheap, but it won't be built to the max like this guy is. So I haven't just been sitting around. I've been involved in a lot of my friends' drift cars, helping them get their cars ready for the track, helping them prep, helping them build stuff. I've been having a lot of fun. I just haven't been filming a lot of it. I'm just trying to get the work done. And I can't wait to share kind of the new experience with y'all after this motor comes back. That being said, I need one more subscriber to hit 1,000. Maybe I already have it by the time this video uploads. Please subscribe if you want to see the progress. I'm going to be starting uploading more and more often, even before the engine comes back. So hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll talk to you on the next one.